Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Addiction Solutions with Roselle. So glad that you could join me again for another episode. It's been a wonderful journey, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I always say at the beginning of every episode, please tell family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, church members to go to YouTube, type in Addiction Solutions with Roselle, and subscribe. Tell them it's free. We have numerous videos. I'm sure that there's one in there that can pertain to whatever you're going through or someone close to you is going through. Last episode, we had finally reached recovery. We had went through the phase chart. We went through all of the stop signs. And so now we're here with recovery. After jails and institutions, there's a comma, and the comma is death. So if you've reached that or you know somebody that reached that point, then, recovery is a moot point. Unfortunately, death does happen when you are addicted. So let's talk a little bit about recovery. Last week, I talked about myself. Yes, June 22nd, 1990 was the last time Roselle had a drink. And that's honest. June 22nd, 1990 was the last time Roselle did heroin. However, there are other obstacles out there that can adjust a person's recovery. Now, today, as I explain things to you, I'm more interested in the quality of recovery and not the quantity. I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody. This is my life, and that is what I'm talking about. I still had quality clean time. What happened to this individual is I made a mistake listening to doctors. Now, I made a mistake, but I'm not a mistake. One of my sayings is, success is not the key to happiness, but happiness is the key to success. Right now, I'm happy. What I went through was necessary. I had multiple surgeries. After each surgery, I was given pain medication. Okay, back in the day, before computers could monitor pills and drugs that an individual had, you could go to multiple doctors and get pain medication. They've solved that problem. So now, if you go to a doctor and you get medication for pain, if you try to go to another doctor, they already know. They can look on the system and see. So that's been eliminated. But in my situation, I was in a pain management clinic, and I was doing everything by the books, legally. However, every time we would try to take this medication down, I'd have another surgery. And this surgery would be more serious than the last, so they would add medication. So first it was hydrocodone by itself, and it seemed to do the trick until the surgeries continued to pile. So when I went back to the pain management clinic, they added morphine. So now I've got hydrocodone and morphine. So I'm an addict. These pills are not designed to say, oh, you're sick, so we're going to disregard the fact that you're an addict. You can just take these at will and there are not going to be any problems. Okay? Hydrocodone and morphine and, in combination, that's dangerous. That is highly addictive. So here I am now. I'm addicted to pain pills. So my clean time, for all intensive purposes, under one of the support groups or one of the fellowships is actually gone. And I will say this before anybody runs and starts screaming and hollering, I did an open talk. The person that asked me to do the open talk did not know this story. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have asked me to talk. But anyway, when I did the talk, I told all of this. And the Narcotics Anonymous support group Headhunters was in the crowd. And I guess that's why I did it. You know, I could have went on lying and all of this, but, you know, since that time, it's been 4 years and some months. You know, we're heading on to 5 years. So I could claim in Narcotics Anonymous that I have 5 years clean, or 4.5, how many, you know, whatever you want to say. But in Alcohol Anonymous, I still have 31 years. I'm proud of that. You know, I've been on multiple vacations, multiple trips where I could have drank. My daughter just celebrated her 50th birthday party in Vegas, and I was in the room, and, you know, I touched one of the bottles of champagne. I was just trying to see what it was, and, you know, it triggered something, and I had to pay for it, and I'm calling downstairs, and I'm telling them, hey, I don't drink, I didn't drink it, the bottle is still here. But guess what? If I wanted to be dishonest, I could have drank some of that champagne. They had the little airplane bottles, they had beer. I could say, man, look, I'll be 73 years old in a few days, and I haven't had a drink in 31 years. They have so many new drinks. You know, nothing like that Night Train I was drinking. If you're not familiar with Night Train, let me give you a little update. Night Train is the type of alcohol that if you're driving and you run out of gas, you can pour it in the tank and it'll start it back up. And I was drinking that garbage on an empty stomach. But I had to have something to keep the illusion going. It was an illusion that I was living until my higher power, who I choose to call God, finally led me to recovery. Now, I'm giving all this information. I'm going to stay on recovery for a while because it's important for me as the author of these series to give you, the listener, valid and honest information. I don't want to deceive anybody. I don't want to mislead anybody. I'm telling you the honest truth of what has happened in my life. So, after I've done a few series on recovery, then we're going to go into maybe one of my workbooks, which is not published, but I can glean some information from that. And I've authored a couple of books, and they are daily guides. So I could pull a few excerpts from that. So what we're trying to do now is get feedback from the audience to answer some questions, and I look forward to seeing you and talking to you next week. Hope you've enjoyed this series. Have a blessed day.